only thing that could really stop me, I felt like, was an injury. And just RDLs and just tons of hamstring workouts, stretching, flexibility.
Barbell with your feet shoulder width apart, pointing your toes slightly outwards. Fully extend your hips and squeeze your glutes to reach the top.
Traditional lifting loads the hip in a reverse movement sequence. So we'll see here this guy with his barbell squat. As he's lifting it, the pressure is getting funneled inside. And as he continues to lift, the pressure has to be funneled outside. Comparing the squat to a forward movement pattern, you see as you land, the hip opens out. All the energy is loaded onto one side. And then as you leave, the hip closes and all the energy loads into the other side. If your goal is to be more athletic, start training the forward movement pattern. Hip opens on the landing, closes on the leave.
Fine. Now it's just a matter of like when I feel like Zion.
This is actually really sad because if you take a look at Zion's movement patterns, he might never feel like Zion again. Trainers today, we're not correcting movement. We're just trying to strengthen muscles around the injured area, and that's not going to do anything in terms of your longevity or durability. It's just going to temporarily fix one problem, and it's just going to lead to more problems down the road.
All right, so first of all, his feet are way crooked, but we also want to take note of this negative bow right here. So when he plants his knee cave slightly in, this means that his arches are collapsed and all of that pressure is going to the inside of his knee. And then right here, we're going to see a heavy heel strike. He does this all the time. When you strike with the heel, your arches collapse and your knee caves in. This is exactly how Odell Beckham tore his ACL. Anytime the heel slams into the ground like that, you're asking for trouble.
All right, right here, takeoff's not bad. But on the landing, look at that knee. Look at that. Knee completely caves in. Inside ankle bone drops low. And then on the backside, we see the same thing. Look how crooked that foot is. And as a result, the inside ankle bone drops low. And this always leads to injury. It's not a secret that anytime the knee caves in, bad things happen. The most injury-prone people on the planet have knees that just cave in every time they cut. This first step right here, look how low the inside ankle bone goes. Remember, the inside ankle bone should always be higher than the outside ankle bone. Right there, everything just caves in. Get a negative bow as a result. You could tell in the air this right foot's crooked. Strikes with the heel, negative bow. Strikes with the heel again. Inside ankle bone goes crazy low. Takes off out of that. And another negative bow right here too. Takes off from there. Throws it down like a fucking beast because he's Zion. But it's tragic because no one wants to fix his movement pattern, so he might never be able to return to this level of athleticism ever again. Taking a look at this clip of AD right here. We're going to see he takes that first step, crooked foot, inside ankle bone low. Right here, this is the one that's really bad. We see inside ankle bone low right there. And an extremely negative bow right here. Left foot's not horrible on that one, but he's straight up, which we call front chain dominance. This leads to compression in the spine. Takeoff could have been worse. When he lands right here, immediately goes into crooked foot, inside ankle bone low. Right here. Look how much his knee caves in off this landing. If this is how you land on every single dunk, over time, you're eventually just going to break down. And we see a crooked foot again right here. Looking at the top view here, you can see it even more. Look at this right leg. Look how much of a negative bow he's about to land with. And then when he plants, that inside ankle bone goes low. Look at this. You can't tell me that over time that doesn't affect his durability. Look at this foot. Inside ankle bone completely drops once he touches, and the knee caves in. Every time AD runs, we see these same patterns. Like, this is why he's not durable. People want to make these excuses and just say that, oh, it's because he's big, or like he does the wrong training, or like whatever the case may be. If you move like this, you're going to get hurt constantly. There's no way around it.
ACL injuries for athletes, non-athletes, young, old are all going up, and there's something common among all of them. When this foot plants, he's inside ankle bone low, meaning the bony part on the inside of his ankle is dropping low to the ground, pulling the shin in while this femur is rotating out. So that creates that disharmony at the knee. Same thing here, the inside ankle bone is dropping low to the ground, which traps the shin in while the femur is trying to rotate out, so it creates that disharmony at the knee. Walk, rest, run, and train with your inside ankle bone high to avoid this happening to you.
Perturbation training, believe it or not, is leading to more ACL tears than it's preventing. For those of you that don't know, perturbation training is pretty much working on balance on unstable surfaces. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. The problem with this training is that we're working out of operating on inside ankle bone low positions. So when we do this type of stuff, you're feeding into your central nervous system that when you want to be balanced on a field or court, drop that inside ankle bone. This leads to inside ankle bone low behavior, and the result of inside ankle bone low is ACL tears. So another way to think of this is you're pretty much working on being balanced out of an inside ankle bone low position, which is going to increase the frequency of inside ankle bone low happening in the sport. We should be avoiding that. So yeah, out of this, you might get stronger out of positions around the knee, and you're going to be more stable. So in theory, that should lead to less injuries, but they're not factoring in the movement. If you train to operate out of inside ankle bone low positions in a setting like this, you're going to do that on the field or court. When you operate out of inside ankle bone low positions on the field or court, you get hurt. Lonzo Ball is probably the prime example of this. He was doing this type of training more than anybody else in all of professional sports. He was known for it. This was starting in 2019, and after 2019, he couldn't stop getting hurt. So there are ways to improve your proprioception and stability off of inside ankle bone high positions. We do this with a single leg drop in on a slant board. So with the slant board right here, this forces you to be out of an inside ankle bone high position and give you that bow shape. So technically speaking, an external rotation at the tibia and an external rotation at the femur. So we're gonna set this bow right here on the right side. Balls of the feet, inside ankle bone high, put pressure on that outside ball of the foot. Right here we got that external rotation. And then once you set the bow, if you lift this back leg, this is the position that we should be working on if you want to improve our proprioception. So this is going to give you the same benefits that you would get from a stability disc, but you're doing it out of an inside ankle bone high position, so you're training to land safely at the same time.